In this video, we're going to be covering 4 things you need to do right now to be more productive. A lot of us struggle with productivity, sometimes way too much. I'm going to go ahead and tell you how to fix that. Step 1, minimize your works in progress. Now, in my past video where I talked about art block, I did mention works in progress was a good thing, a way to give you some ideas when you have no idea what to paint. You can just reach out for your works in progress and get to work with it. But just like having way too many art supplies can be overwhelming, having way too many works in progress can damper that productivity. It can make you get very stressed out, get overwhelmed with seeing all these projects. You just don't know which one to do, which one to finish, or you want to finish them all and you end up doing none of them. That is how they kind of became works in progress. You either ran out of time, we need to work on that time management. You wanted to finish a project, something happened, you weren't able to do it. So you set it aside for a future day. Or you were doing the project and you had another idea. You're like, oh, I want to do this one instead. So you set that one aside to be forgotten into that pile. Whatever the reason may be, works in progress can accumulate, and they accumulate sometimes very quickly. You want to make sure that you only have 2 to 3 works in progress at a time. The max 4. That is my recommendation, because too many after that is, well, too many. And too much of something can become a bad thing. Just like chocolate is delicious, but if you eat too much of that, you can get diabetes. Alcohol, for the adults, can be fun to drink, but too much of it can lead to accidents. And the same thing with everything else. Too much of something is a negative thing. So you want to go ahead and balance yourself. And the best thing that I found was 2 to 3 projects, max 4 of them. So that way, throughout the month, you can reach out to 1 or 2 of those projects, cut down those works in progress. This is the work in progress that I had to leave 7 months ago because I was doing a teeny weeny challenge and I ran out of time. So I set it aside and it just stood there. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to do it. So here I finished this lovely small little painting. Step number 2, set up a schedule and stick to it. Now, you might have already tried a schedule and it didn't work out for you. Thus, you're stuck in a slump. You find yourself not being productive at all. You have no idea what to do. Now, there's a certain way you need to make your schedules. And these are kind of a trial and error. You want to find a schedule that works perfectly for you. So maybe that schedule you had didn't work for you for whatever reason. You need to find out what was working, what wasn't working, so that way you can make a schedule that will help you instead of hinder you. What my recommendation is to have 2 types of schedules. I like to have a long-term schedule. It could be a month long or 2 to 3 months, a 6-month schedule. Like, let's say I want to do a project or 2 within these set time frame, 3 to 6 months. Long-term schedule is going to be very basic and not very detailed. It's just going to consist of what I want to accomplish in the long run. I want to finish 1 or 2 projects, or maybe I want to finish a new coloring book, or I want to do 24 illustrations for that coloring book. Whatever it may be, that is what the long-term schedule is. Then the weekly schedule will break that month or 2 months or 3 months frame down. But what I like to do is I only like to do 1 or 2 weeks max at a time. So you want to concentrate on just that one thing first that you need to start off. So I want to do, let's say, 10 sketches of what these pages are, right? But I only want to go ahead and finish 2 drawings in that 1 week time frame. Then the next week I can finish 10 more sketches and do another 2 more drawings or 4 drawings. You've gotten better at it, so you can add more stuff the second week. Or in reverse, it could be the opposite. Maybe you set too much on 1 week, so you got to cut back down on the second week. You can go ahead and give yourself a reward when you finish a project. Maybe give yourself a little more extra time the following week to yourself. Give yourself more me time, more personal time, more family time. If you don't finish something, you can do the opposite. You can cut a little bit of that personal time off. Like if you want to go see a movie, well, now you're going to have to wait till next week to see it if you finish this project. So you're going to want to finish this project because you want to go see that movie. Step 3, give yourself breaks. Now, schedules are extremely important in increasing your productivity, but you also have to make sure you're including breaks in those schedules. Not just in the schedules, but you're also taking breaks from a schedule itself. Example, when you have a day job, you work a certain time frame, they give you lunch breaks and actual breaks themselves. Same thing applies to when you're working on your projects. You want to give yourself breaks so you can take a breather. You can see what is working, what is not working, how your progress is going. Do you need to increase your level of productivity, or maybe, slow down a little bit? You don't want to go ahead and end up burning yourself out or getting art block because you're too overwhelmed with what you're doing. That's why, like I mentioned, I like doing schedules just 1 week time frame or 2 weeks, because that way I can go ahead and see where I'm at that time, and then include breaks as it is necessary. Maybe take a 1 or 2 days off to wind yourself down and go ahead and be prepared to start again the following week. And what I mean by breaks, I don't just mean, oh, stop doing what you're doing, take a break, don't work that day at all. I mean, take a break on the level of productivity you're working at. Example, these past 2 paintings that I did in this video were completely new. All they had was just a sketch of what I was going to paint. Versus Jack, it was actually a very old painting that I had kind of ruined. And I was just sitting there and I never tackled it, never fixed it. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a break from actually starting a new painting, something that, has no paint on it whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and take a break from the current supplies that I was using, try out these Winsor & Newton water-soluble oils that I haven't used in a long time, play with them a little bit and just fix up this painting. It's already completed. I just have to fix certain parts of it that got ruined, and it's a small, quick project, a 30-minute project that didn't take very long, but yet it was set there in my works in progress for a very long time. So I went ahead and set it down and said, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to take a little break and just do something very quick, something that's going to give me that satisfaction of accomplishment very quickly and give me that extra boost of energy that I need to finish the remaining projects. So again, it's very important to remember that your time working on something is also as important as your time not working on something. You need to balance your breaks and your work time. You need to balance your very fast-paced, goals with your more relaxed, easy, laid-back goals. You want a nice, cohesive mixture of both of them so you don't go ahead and burn yourself out, and your schedule that you've set will be successful. And all of these steps I've mentioned will help you if you do them and approach them correctly. Step number 4, allow yourself flexibility. What I mean by that is you already set a goal. You've already set a schedule and you've given yourself breaks within those schedules. Now you need to allow yourself the ability to change, alter all the things you've already done at this point. Example, I originally had the idea to do this as a 5-day project. I was going to do as many paintings as I could within those 5 days. I set aside exactly what paintings I wanted to do. But at this point, I had already finished 3 paintings. I was working on this Sailor Moon piece, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to slow down. And I'm actually going to change this into a 3-day project versus a 5-day project. And I will do the remaining 2 pieces at a later time. I was still going to continue the 5 days. So I was just going to break it down and include a day to do something different, which is to work on my YouTube videos, edit this video, set up all the things I wanted to cover, and then save those 2 paintings for a different topic. And it's okay. You're allowed to do that. You're the one who's setting your schedule. You're the one who's setting your level of productivity you want to reach. You don't want it to just run out that gate at full throttle and then burn yourself out and don't know what to do. You're going to find yourself struggling. So you want to go ahead and figure out what pace works for you. How much is too much and how much is right for you. So if you're going to go ahead and set a certain level of productivity for yourself, don't be afraid to admit defeat, to admit, you know what, I've reached the point where I can't do anymore. I am tired, or I think I've done enough. I'm happy with this level of accomplishment. I want to go ahead and give myself a little bit more freedom to do something else, to either maybe read that book you've been wanting to read, do a different project that's slightly different, doesn't require a lot of actually creating or painting, maybe just, sketching in your sketchbook for a couple of minutes every single day for the next week. And it is very important to know these 4 steps. They all work together, they intermingle, they're very essential to one another. If it's not working, then you need to go ahead and figure out why and how you can make it work, how you can go ahead and set yourself up for success. So I hope these 4 steps were very helpful for you. I have found myself creating way more in these past few months than I've ever had in the previous years. It's insane the amount of work that I'm doing, the level where I have my mindset, how productive I've become. And I hope all of these tips and tricks help you so you can go ahead and find the better you, the better artist that you want to be. So if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for watching. And why not watch this video that talks about art block? Go check it out.